Welcome to the Botanical Medicine Study Course and the Herb of the Week. My name is Stephanie Georgieff, and I'm your host and instructor for the course, which will begin in early 2023. If you would like a free introductory lesson for the course, send me an email and I will give you the link to download the video and get the handouts. At the time of this recording, as well as posting, we are in December, which for most of the world is the lead up to Christmas. There are so many associations with Christmas, and obviously there are specific herbs and spices which we seem to indulge in more generously than at other times of the year. A spice which actually gets quite a bit of press starting in October is cinnamon, which is found in the ever-present pumpkin spice everything. My goodness, I've seen pumpkin spice hand lotion. What I find very amusing about this whole pumpkin spice craze is the main spice in this pumpkin spice is actually cinnamon. But cinnamon is quite the flavor in so many delicious candies, spiced and mulled wines, ciders, cakes, and cookies. I personally adore cinnamon in both sweet and savory dishes. For those of you who would like to learn more about the history of cinnamon, along with other spices, I invite you to read the really fascinating book, Spice, The History of Temptation by Jack Turner. It's really an interesting take on how spices literally shaped the modern world, pushed discoveries, and what the culinary habits were from ancient times through the Renaissance. Cinnamon has a long history of use in both medicine and cuisine in Chinese, Indian, and Arab lands. Historians report that cinnamon was imported into Egypt as early as 2000 BC, and it was used in many ways, but most significantly in embalming mummies. Pliny the Elder, that famous ancient Roman philosopher, author, and scientist, wrote that cinnamon was brought around the Arabian Peninsula on rafts without rudders, sails, or oars. These rafts took advantage of winter trade winds. He also mentioned cinnamon as a flavoring agent for wine. According to PTE, or Pliny the Elder, cinnamon was quite expensive in those days. A Roman pound, which we would now know as about 11.5 ounces of cinnamon, cost up to 1,500 denarii, which was basically the wage of 50 months' labor. One wonders what a pumpkin spice latte would cost in those days. In ancient times, up through the late Middle Ages, in Europe, cinnamon was a mystery, thought to be made of cinnamon bird nest or caught up in cinnamon nets from the sea, as it only came to packages on boats from the East. The secrecy and mystery of this spice only added to its value. Keeping cinnamon's origins hidden from buyers was a medieval patent protection of sorts. Even Marco Polo was kept in the dark when it came to cinnamon. The first understanding in the West that cinnamon was cultivated came from some writings naming Sri Lanka as the origin. Later, there are mentions in other writings about the tree, which made wanting to have a monopoly on growing cinnamon as well as other spice plants the story that would make for an incredible miniseries, let me tell you. There's a wonderful website you should check out. It's called The World Flora Online. I will put the link in the program notes. I suggest you get an account and have access to all sorts of amazing plant information in general, as a lot of history is on this website as well. In any case, there are obviously several sorts of cinnamon, and this image, I want to give credit to recipesaresimple.com. The ones most commonly available for culinary purposes can be made up of several types of cinnamon, but the most popular is Cinnamonium cassia, or Chinese cinnamon, and this is the most common commercial type in North America. Cinnamonium burmani is called Indonesian cinnamon, Cinnamomum leucuroi. Apologies to PTE for my Latin pronunciation. That's called Saigon cinnamon or Vietnamese cassia. Cinnamonium verum, which is Sri Lanka or Ceylon cinnamon, and Cinnamonium citridorum, and this is from Malabar cinnamon. Cinnamon is actually a tree which can grow up to 20 to 30 feet tall. It has a thick bark with speckled green shoots, and the leaves are petiolate, meaning that the leaves have a stalk that attaches the leaf blade to the stem and is able to twist the leaf to face the sun. It is part of the Lauraceae family, which is obviously includes the laurel tree, and one can see the similarities between the leaves. Ayurveda considers cinnamon to be a vehicle of warmth and circulation, mood, and digestion. Cinnamon has qualities of pungency, warmth, and spice, all of which are balancing to both the Kapha and Vata doshas. And for those of you not familiar with Ayurvedic medicine, there are 3 different body types, Kapha, Vata, and Pitta, and cinnamon harmonizes Kapha and Vata. And I'm a Kapha, and Kaphas are kind of rotund and soft and a little slow, but very deliberate. Cinnamon leaves are called for fairly commonly in Indian dishes, including desserts. They also have many names that they're known as tayat leaves in parts of India and sometimes called Malabar leaves. Cinnamon leaf oil is rich in phytonutrients and contains eugenol, which helps with gastrointestinal problems, including stomach aches, nausea, and diarrhea. It also has high concentrations of cinnamaldehyde, which gives it that amazing scent. And this is a natural pain reliever with anti-inflammatory properties. In traditional Chinese medicine, there are 2 types of cinnamon bark. And the one you see in front of you is called rogui, which is cinnamon bark, the Saigon type. And this is also called Cinnamomum cassiae. It has properties of sweet, hot, and pungent. This herb enters the heart, kidney, liver, and spleen and is considered as a yang tonic, which helps with things like low back pain, general feelings of coldness, and some types of asthma. And a side note, the Chinese are really particular about diagnosis as well as what part of the herb and how it's prepared. They all have different qualities. And just saying blanketly that cinnamon is good for asthma is not actually true, because it's not how it's used and it's not how the particular asthma is diagnosed. So when you see any type of article or public service announcement that says herbs have no effect, that's not true, because they're looking at it in terms of a blanket statement, and the Chinese are very, very particular. Another type of cinnamon used in traditional Chinese medicine is called guizhi, which means cinnamon twig. And this is also of the cinnamon cassia tree. And this herb is considered sweet, pungent, and warm, but not hot. And the Chinese, as I said, are very specific about their herbal medicine, what parts of the plant do what. Now, this herb enters the heart, lung, and bladder and is used mainly as a protective herb, meaning it strengthens the protective qi from exterior cold. This herb is a wonderful substitute in certain formulas for ephedra. And ephedra, because it's not used the way the Chinese use it, has gotten a bad rap. and is considered illegal or difficult to obtain, but guejir can be used as a lovely substitute in flu and cold remedies. Now, in the Western understanding of cinnamon, and this is basically comes from the chemistry, it has volatile oils, tannins, mucilage, and sugar. And the essential oil is what makes cinnamon so amazing and delicious, and is found in highest concentration in the bark, which is why the Chinese consider the bark hot, where the twig, which is smaller, is warm. Now, cinnamon oil is antibacterial, antifungal, anti-diabetic, and has antioxidant properties. It's warming, so much so that you have to be a bit careful with skin contact, and always dilute the oil if you are using it on the skin. If you put it in your bath water, your skin will tell you almost immediately. 1 drop per large bath is very delightful. More than that, let me tell you, your private parts will be tingly hurting for hours afterwards. So caution, especially if you have plans after the bath. There are several ways you can take cinnamon. You can take it in powdered form, or in tea form, or in oil form. Now, the powdered herb of cinnamon has gotten quite a lot of attention recently because it has been found to control blood sugar levels. It can be quite warming, hot, so to speak, and cause a bit of tummy upset if you take the capsules. So don't overdo it, as they say. The main modern effect that has gotten the most research, but in spite of what certain Wikipedia pages say, is that cinnamon helps to even out blood sugar. This means cinnamon is a great thing to incorporate in your diet if you have blood sugar issues. And the supplements can also even them out. And both eating cinnamon in your diet and taking supplements with caution means that you can use that to help curb sugar cravings. And who couldn't use a bit of help in that department during the holiday season? Cinnamon is also shown to help grow good gut bacteria and improve digestion. So however you want to use this delightful spice of Christmas, adding cinnamon stick to whatever you're drinking, or putting a sprinkle on your morning hot cereal, or taking a capsule, I wish you great cheer during this lead up to Christmas and the New Year, wherever you may be or however you wish to celebrate. This is Stephanie Georgia saying thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. And until next time, be well.